everyone. We're here with Lucas Zelnik. We're going to be talking to him a little bit about comedy and his life.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. So starting off, I know this about you. You have a really big TikTok following. And I know
really
you're going to say,
an exaggeration.
But I feel like maybe for someone who doesn't have a big TikTok following, they'll look at it and be like, wow, that's awesome. But you started posting because of hecklers?
I started posting because I wanted to make money from doing comedy.
Okay.
But once I did, I noticed that people have really short attention spans on TikTok.
Yeah.
And so heckler videos were certainly something that grabbed views very quickly and very easily.
I can see that. It seems like whenever you post any sort of a clip, you need to jump into whatever it is within the first 5 seconds. Otherwise,
Totally.
people are already done.
Yeah.
Do you have an example? So you obviously deal a lot with hecklers.
Yeah.
And do you have an example or an experience that you remember in particular that was like just the worst heckler of all time?
Yeah, I actually do. I remember I was doing some like crazy show. This was like a video that ended up getting a lot of views, but I was doing some like crazy show in Northern California.
Oh.
That was like it was in the middle of nowhere and everyone there was scary and there was like 15 people. And I talk about having a sister with special needs on stage.
Okay.
And this woman started heckling. She was really drunk. I think I made fun of her because she was insisting on driving home, and that got her really upset. I don't know how we got there. She heckled me like once, and then I was like, wow, you're really drunk. And then she said something about driving. And I was like, well, that's not a good idea at all.
It's a terrible idea.
So then I brought up my sister, and she like heckled me about having a sister with special needs.
Oh, sounds like a sweet lady.
Which I obviously was sensitive about.
Yeah.
So that was like a pretty negative one, and I got actually annoyed on stage, but
Really?
people watched it, and that sells tickets, so I guess
I get,
in the
that
grand scheme of
helps.
things,
Do you have people, or do you suspect, I guess, that show up because of your clips just to heckle you, to hope that they'll be in your clips?
I try and make that known to people when they come to see me, that I'm like, these
okay.
are outtakes, and they're not what I want. And also, like, I post crowd work and heckling clips online to hopefully drive people in to see, my shows where I'm actually, like, doing my material.
Right.
So I try and make that known to people, but, the heckling usually happens at clubs where I'm not headlining and I'm not a known entity and everyone's drunk, and then I'll film those and put those up.
That makes sense. They're there to see someone else, you're opening, and then whatever the thing happens. So I know that you're from New York.
I am.
You live here.
I do.
And you do probably a lot of comedy that's sort of based on your experiences here.
Yeah.
Yeah, what has that been a little bit like, bringing your life rather into your comedy?
Well, when I was starting, I just had no idea what people talked about, really. So I figured the best way to not talk about subjects that were kind of like boring or cliche would be just to talk about my own life.
Yeah.
I grew up as like a super rich kid in New York, like a rich Jewish, just really like in the terribly high 0.1% where everyone should hate you and want you to die.
Right.
And so I thought that would be like an interesting place to start. Definitely started with some likability issues on stage, but I've hopefully managed to get some of that material working.
So you're very honest about your life with your stand-up and growing up sort of rich in the city, and also that must be interesting dating, and you're bringing your dating stories into your comedy. I'm sure that has to happen at least sometimes.
Yeah, every once in a while there's a dating story that just requires having a joke written about it. Like recently I went on a date with a girl that started denying the Holocaust.
Oh.
So I won't give away how it ended, but I will say once it started, I knew it was going in the act.
Did you start jotting down mental notes of like, okay, I'm gonna talk about this, and this?
Oh, yeah. She kind of wrote the joke for me, but
no.
I certainly, the second we got to the topic of the Holocaust on a first date, I went, this is either going to be funny or horrifying for me, or both.
Or both.
I think it was both.
Yeah, it had to have been both. I mean, you're Jewish,
I'm
right?
Jewish,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
a way to make something really, really bad and make it absolutely worse. Well, I can't wait to hear that joke. That'll be fun. Lucas, thank you so much for being with us. This was a really fun conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, and you're up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Lucas Zelnik!
So, I'm Jewish, and I know. It was actually unfortunate the other day because I went on a date with a girl that started denying the Holocaust. By accident. I don't have like a kink for that. I wasn't like, I've been bad, punish me. Here's what happened. I'm on this date with this girl and she goes, the Holocaust. First date, bad vibe immediately. She goes, the Holocaust, what'd you think? I was like, bad? I thought. She asked me like it was a movie review. Like I was gonna be like, I liked it in the beginning, but it got a little too violent by the end. So I said bad, I thought the Holocaust was bad. And she goes, here's the thing, everyone likes to say the Holocaust was bad. I was like, I don't think everyone likes to. She goes, everyone likes to say the Holocaust was bad, but if you or I were in that position back then, we would have been German soldiers. To which I replied, I think if I were in that position back then, I would have been a Jew still. I don't know what part of this hypothetical I switched sides in. So the date's continuing, and I didn't even leave the date. That's how badly guys want to get laid, is she opened with that, and I was like, let's see what else she has to say. Any woman would have walked out of that date immediately. Any guy is like, strike one, but she gets 2 more strikes. So the date's continuing, and I said this in passing. I go, since you're probably a Republican. And she goes, how did you know I was a Republican? I was like, you were denying the Holocaust. Say what you will about liberals, but I've never met one who's like, I believe love is love, science is real, and Auschwitz just didn't have the structural capacity to kill 6 million. But she was hot. My mind was telling me 6 million, but my penis was hiling, and I did have sex with her. Here's the thing, is I think if you want to like emotionally punish a woman, you can't withhold sex from them. Because you don't like having sex with men that much. At least not with me that much. But so here's what I did, is I withheld the cuddle at the end. I was just on the edge of the bed like, I'm doing this for the Jews. So it's good. I came from like a weird family. My sister has special needs, and she doesn't have anything diagnosable, like she doesn't have autism or Down syndrome. So the way that I described the nature of her disability is she had this school project where she had to paint a picture and then fill in a blank that said America is blank. And she painted a picture of a meadow with a horse in it, and then she wrote, America is horses. And I love doing that joke for liberal crowds, because you guys go, and that's exactly right. America is plural horses. She didn't even draw 2 horses. It should have been America is horse, you know? But that's what I love about my sister. She's like a wild card, and I feel like you need a wild card on your team, right? Like if you were getting robbed at gunpoint, would you rather be with like a really jacked dude that's gonna escalate the situation, or a girl that just starts eating a muffin during the robbery? Because that's like my sister's vibe, you know? The robber's like, I'm strapped. She's like, me too. Banana walnut. I mean, it was weird growing up with a sibling with special needs, because especially when I was younger, like I didn't know how to process it. Like when I was really young, I thought she was faking it. I did. I thought at the end of a long day, she got back to her room, closed the door, and was like, got him again. 5 consecutive days of dessert for breakfast. This family is retarded, and every time I say that word, everyone in the room under 25 is like, no! And everyone in the room over 25 is like, finally. I know that's not a good word I do. It's just, I don't think the phrase special needs is much better. You know, like my sister doesn't have special needs. She has basic needs. She needs to be taken care of, shown love. I have special needs. I need to tell jokes on a stage every night to feel good about myself. I'm not against the word retarded. I'm not for it. I wouldn't like march. Bring it back, bring it back. It's just, you have to understand the words that marginalize groups, they're relevant to the struggles those groups face. And my sister doesn't even know what that word means. So for her to be offended by that word, I'd have to teach her what it means and then teach her she should be offended by it. You know what I'm saying? I'd have to be like, come in here, champ. You having a good day? Not for long, you're not. And then she'd be like, what's retarded? And I'd be like, it's when you say, America's horses. So All right, I'm going to get out of here on that. Thank you guys so much.